Why hello there, Pokemon trainers. How are you today? I'm here for a little bit of excitement. I am actually legitimately excited for Pokemon X and Y. Okay, my thoughts. First off, I just want to state, I do not have a Nintendo 3DS at all. I have a regular DS, but I do not have a 3DS. I'm thinking about getting it whenever we all know, third plug-in is going to come in. We have X and Y. How many of you want to bet money that there's going to be a Z? Okay? X, Y, Z. Oh my god, it just dawned on me. I just totally thought of like, oh my god, my mind just went pfft. Okay, you know how like the Pokemon games had colors and elements? So we had red, blue, yellow, gold, silver, crystal, and all of that? X and Y, not only male and female, that was actually my first reaction, but knowing the pattern of how Pokemon works, there will be a third that'll soon follow in about maybe a year, give or take. Okay, X, Y, and Z. Are there any geometry majors? It's clicking. Now you're getting it. If anybody doesn't know about the recent trailers of the new Pokemon game X and Y, Pokemon has had this history of being primarily a 2D platform. It recently, over the past few releases, decided to be more 3D-esque. Now, mind you, they're still very cartoony looking, even though it's quite 3D platforming looking. You got more angles, you got your width and lengths involved. But it's still not fully a 3D adventure up until the previous ones that just came out not long ago. What was it, like 2 years ago? I don't even know. Those were really well done 3D-wise. Now, it makes sense. Because what this means, what's different about X and Y, and by comparison, visually and graphically, is that they have the cel-shaded method. I think that's what it's called. But it is a pure 3D modeled Pokemon game. It is purely 3D modeled. It is X, Y, and Z. If anybody knows geometry, graphing, X, Y, and your Z is if you were to turn a graphic paper. If you have a sheet of graphic paper, it would be if you turned it and it would stick out. That is your Z. It's what gives you depth. Length, it'd be like width, length, height. It would be like your length, basically. So when Z comes out, it practically reflects the 3D modeling graphics that we have just been given in X and Y. And if Z comes out, then my theory is correct. Oh my god, my mind is blown. So am I really truly excited for the game? Absolutely. The graphics is just the beginning. A lot of small minor notes that people have been commenting on the trailer is that there's actual physical reactions to when a Pokemon looks like it's getting hurt. It actually shows in some scenes where potentially it'll look like it's taking damage other than just the health bar, which is a really nice added touch. A quick run through, I believe the starters are, they're good. I'm not a big fan of Froakie, but I think he'll grow on me, as all the other starters have. As a side note, though, the only last game I've played that is a Pokemon game thoroughly is Pokemon Heart Gold. And yes, I'm a horrible trainer. I cheated, boo me all you want, but I really didn't care. I wasn't playing for the enjoyment. I was playing for the nostalgia and the updated graphics. So I wasn't afraid to cheat on that one. However, if I do get X and Y, well, X or Y and or Z, then I'm not going to cheat. I'm actually going to legitimately try. The starter I will probably end up with is, ironically, Froakie. I tend to go water type because they're able to really do almost any kind of elemental type attack. They're very elementally bound. Though graphically and based on design, I would rather go with, I think it's called Fennekin. It's the Firefox one. Oh look, it's a ripoff of Vulpix. But it's still well made. It's really cute. The grass type, I'm usually not impressed with grass types. Actually, my first ever Pokemon I played in a Pokemon game was a Chikorita, and it was a little bit challenging, actually, even though my Chikorita rarely fainted, and it didn't have to take that many trips to the Pokemon Center either. So it's kind of just one of those, I'm probably going to end up with Froakie, even though I really don't like its character design. However, the legendaries, we have yet to see the legendary trio, but we did get a look into the 2 legendaries that are involved. I'm going to call them Pokemon X and Pokemon Y for lack of a name. Pokemon X doesn't really look all that impressive to me. It looks really cool, don't get me wrong. Design-wise, it looks fantastic. It looks really well made. But in terms of design, I actually really like Y. This, like, elk, antler, deer, prominent. It kind of gives you a Harry Potter feel. So I'm kind of leaning towards that one. So I might actually end up getting Y. And getting the antlered legendary. If I have to make a choice, it'll be the antlers. Brah, antlers. Well over X. So predominantly, I think they did a really good job. The design and animation of the Pokemon are getting better. I think they're finally listening to their fan base. They're finally giving us that 3D CAD, computer-assisted drafting model that we've been wondering and wanting for like ages now, and we finally now have a chance to get that full 3D model. And I know I was talking about saying earlier how like we really didn't get that full 3D model. We did, but it was still very pixelated. And I think that was the word I was really meaning to say, is that it was very pixelated. But here we get this smooth-edged, decently smooth-edged 3D model. It almost looks like a very classic shading, almost like Wind Waker. That's the game I was thinking about, Legend of Zelda Wind Waker. And I think it's going to last really well, a long time, and it's going to make a great impact on the trainers. So I am actually very proud and looking forward to the game, and I will actually get my hands on it. Whether I'll be able to fully play, can't say. I have to drill for school, because information doesn't stick in my head very easily. Oh, I have to drill. So I won't be able to probably play it very often. I may be able to have like some downtime at night before I go to bed and play some. That's really about it. Maybe once fall kicks in more for the semester, I might be able to play more. But until then, I'm kind of about it. But I am very interested to see how this game plays out, especially if Z comes out, and I will probably more than likely get Z. Hopefully it does not disappoint us, and hopefully we as a community will really enjoy it, and we're not going to be sitting there crying, complaining because they added 2 more legendaries, because you would think by now, in the world of Pokemon, in your lifetime, you'd meet at least one of them, because there's just so many. Oh, so many Pokemon. My question is now, where are they in terms of the legends, in terms of like where they're placed? We know Arceus is the god Pokemon. We know that certain Pokemon are in charge of the land and the sea and the sky and stuff like that. So where do these 2 fit is kind of curious to me, and where the 3rd one takes over and what his placement is. So it's going to be kind of interesting to see these Pokemon and where they decide to kind of needle pin them in and kind of just go there. Anyway, I am very excited for the game. What do you guys think? Tell me your thoughts below. I'm personally going to see if they're going to make a Z, because if it is a Z, I'm brilliant, and I feel amazing. I don't know if anybody else noticed it. Will notice the same thing as I did, but I feel awesome. And hopefully we get some more news, and maybe we'll come up with a new video as we go further down the road. I will see you all later, and keep training, guys. We got a new game coming in October, and my birthday's in October. I'm kind of psyched. Not gonna lie.